day, Rusk enjoys. What are we here for? Well, I thought I just want to do a bit of an observation of the rusty market. I haven't really done a video like this in quite some time. Just looking to see how things are. Just looking to see if there's any potential investments. Could we see some interesting positivity in the near future? Not necessarily a video talking about, oh, what's probably going to happen over the course of the next several weeks, like we have with like the summer progress video. It's more of a case of, I'm just looking around, I'm going to point out how things are starting to improve, and, you know, could you jump in? Could you probably grab a few investments and hopefully walk away with an extra little bit of profit, you know? Could we get some interesting short-term gains? So let's observe, let's look around. So, as I've already pointed out, previously, within the past couple months, we've been talking about the summertime, more specifically July and August time. Now, of course, I've also brought up how certain collections have been greatly enjoying themselves as of recent. In fact, Popstar, quite a coincidence, Rare the Skin Creator's actually in the chat. He just gifted some subs. Thank you very much for that. I'm sure we're going to be seeing some more interesting skins for that collection. But considering the success, like, I made that video like, what, three or almost a month ago, 3 weeks ago? Yeah, anyway, we've seen even more skins being accepted. And the collection, oh wow, that collection just shot up. We were talking about Popstar Summer, and, well, I mean, it's working out quite all right, isn't it? We'll talk about more about that in a bit, don't you worry. But of course, I also brought up this video as well. If you've been keeping track of my progress with my isolated account, basically, in this particular video, I kind of talked about how I still don't want to sell. Like, I just brought up a nice little update specifically for the isolated account, sitting there and saying my current thoughts. And I basically came to the conclusion that I noticed that there's a pattern where a lot of the skins really start to rise up in price around the 3rd week of July. So I was like, all right, you know what? Why don't I just go ahead, look at the skins today, and I could go back to this in about a month's time with another proper summer progress video, and I can easily reflect and say, oh, well, look, this is how this skin behaved, this is how that skin behaved. So, all right, cool. Well, let's go ahead and start doing just that. So, over to here, boom. I'm on the front page of the Rusty Market, and I'm sure many of you are fully well aware, I do happen to have quite a lot of skins, and I have been waiting for certain things in hopes of being able to sell them for a much more optimal, better profit. So, yeah, I've had to be very, very patient, basically. But I've also made mention, if I go over to here in SCMM, I'm signed in, I can look at my inventory right now. I've noticed how, within the past few weeks, we have noticed that there's been quite a dip. Now, the grand scheme of things, this isn't really anything out of the ordinary, which is something we've learned. We always have some ups and downs, but specifically looking at this, that's just my inventory. That's not like a proper observation of the Steam market. To truly get a grasp and a good idea of how things are, you have to look yourself. So don't just always look at your inventory and just go, oh no, things are looking pretty bad now. No. Go ahead, look around, look what's on the front page, refresh, let's go. So, in the past, I've said this quite a lot. If you kind of want to get a kind of a good idea of how things are currently lining up, look at the loot boxes. If people feel the need to go ahead and open the loot boxes and whatnot, you're going to see the prices improving. Like, when times are good, loot boxes go up in price. And, well, let's go ahead and take a look at this. High quality bag, which I do believe is the most expensive loot box as of now. Right now it's $12.20, and if you look at that, you can see that there's actually quite a lot more. And if I could just scroll down, as you might notice, well, recently, it looks as if it has been trending downwards. Now, you might sit there and say, oh, are we doomed? Well, I will also point out the loot boxes tend to be a bit slow to update as well. We're going to see the skins improve faster than when we see the loot boxes do better. Like, I could also take a look at the barrel as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at that, because in the past we've mainly talked about the barrel being the thing to look at, but the bag has been doing better than the barrel as of recent. Ooh. So over the years, this barrel has only gotten cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, because we just keep seeing more and more weapon skins coming out, and the majority of weapon skins, they don't really tend to work out very nicely. Bar a select few. Anyway, $9.27, and of course, as you look over to here, yeah, that's quite a lot of listings. And very recently, do we see the same thing? Pretty much yes. So as I look at the more recent times, you'll notice that we have some highs, some lows, some highs, some lows. So in the lead up to getting closer and closer to Christmas, that just kept going up. Post-Christmas, it kept going up. Easter dip, yep. Then we had the nice rise just after June time. Things were looking pretty good. And then, of course, we have the dip. However, does it still look as if it's still going down quite dramatically? Not really. So, if we're all in a sort of an agreement to sit here and say we don't think the prices are going down that much more, is there an opportunity to jump in and potentially make a move with hopes that over the course of the next few weeks, with prices expected to rise, what with a decent player count still playing at the moment, don't you think you could probably make a few moves today? So, as I said, and I will repeat, the common theme appears to be that around the third week of July is when we really start to notice things moving. Now, I kept bringing up, like, in Europe, our kids still in school and whatnot. Well, I mean, I kind of based it around mainly based on my experience with the UK. Usually it's the third week that kids are out. Or maybe, like, close to the very end. Anyway, you get the point. It's usually, like, towards the end of the month. I guess you could probably relate it to what we saw with the skins. But, you know, I've got a whole bunch of links here. I'm just going to go ahead, start looking at some of these skins, and I'll talk about, you know, could we be a little bit more optimistic in the future? So, obviously at the barrel, same thing with what we saw at the bag, but can we take a look at some skins that came up recently and contemplate what might happen next? Tribal Alloy SAR. That is the newest transparent aim sight SAR skin to be accepted into Rust, and, well, that's quite a surprise. But you know what's also a surprise? It's already up to $4.50. What? No, wasn't that going down in price? Yeah. But not anymore. Oh. Well, hello. How you doing? That's looking pretty sweet. That's looking pretty good. That is what we're starting to notice now with in-demand skins. I believe the upward trend has begun. And again, as I will repeat, you won't notice it on the loot barrels and whatnot just yet. Loot boxes, Hedge. Well, once a barrel, whatever. Yeah, you're going to notice it on the in-demand skins beforehand. And this SAR does look as if it's starting to improve. It came out somewhat recently. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Tribal Alloy collection. So over to here. Right, I meant the store section. Right. Tribal Alloy. Could we see the MP5 or the Thompson? We don't know, but we'll find out. Anyway. So the AK came out, it's right, doesn't have a transparent aim sight, suffered, what are you going to do? But the SAP recovered, that was selling for a pretty decent price, even though we saw the optimized SAP coming out, it still managed to bounce back up. So whilst we might have noticed a bit of a dip, it already recovered, because people like transparent pay-to-win sights, alright? Same can be said with the Tribal Alloy SAP. Came out, people weren't really sure of it for a while, dipped for a while, it's already starting to go back up. There's one little problem that could happen though. With all due respect, I must acknowledge that we might see another transparent aim sight SAR eventually at some point. It feels like an inevitability that eventually it will happen. Now, I will remind you, previously we saw the HellCore SAR, didn't we? That came out at the very beginning of the year. That sold nicely as well. And then afterwards, after we went through the Easter dip, that just kept going up and up and up and up and up in price, but then it suffered when this appeared. Well, how's that doing? We'll talk about that in a bit. But history tends to repeat itself, and, well, if I could just quickly introduce to you a certain very interesting SAR that's just recently appeared. I should point out to you today is Monday, so we're seeing all the brand new skins being submitted to the workshop, and oh my goodness, that's a lovely work of art. But it also happens to have transparent aim sight. Yeah, say hello to Valkyrie SAR. It's got transparent aim sight, and it looks quite beautiful. So, not exactly super colourful, but, you know, neither is Tribal Alloy, so, And the funny thing is both of these collections, they both tried for an MP5 last week. Transparent aim sight, pay-to-win sight. They both look nearly the exact same in terms of transparency, but they do differ based on design. So, cool. So, just remember, we might still see problems later down the line with new skins being introduced. So, but for now, I must acknowledge that that's doing good. And then over to here, I must remind myself of the HellCore SAR. HellCore collection was progressing very, very nicely at the very beginning of this year. We saw a lot of weapon skins with transparent aim sight, pay-to-win sights being accepted. Then it kind of stopped with that, and now it's starting to dabble into clothing and armor. Recently, we did see Tier 2 armor version 2 being submitted. And here's hoping we see that potentially this upcoming Rust, maybe. Anyway, this is now pushing back up to $5 again. Get a good look at that. But also, let's just remind ourselves, when did that other... Oh, there you go, yeah. When did the Trouble Alloy SAR get accepted, I wonder? Yes. So, yeah, it was doing very good until Trouble Alloy SAR appeared. But you know what? Give it time. I'm sure it will recover and go back up to this price once again eventually as time goes on. Pending we don't see another transparent aim sight SAR being accepted anytime soon. So, yes. Came out at the very beginning of January, kind of dipped for a bit, did a bit of an improvement. I'm led to believe that's when one of the newer transparent aim sight HellCore skins were accepted. Then we went through March, the Easter dip, and then after that, it just went up. It just went up, right? So typically Easter dip usually lasts for about 2 months. This year only lasted for 1 month. And then so many prices started improving. It was quite a surprise. But people really do want to have lovely pay-to-win designs. And, of course, competition appears, it drops. But you know what? Only for a while was it down bad. Now it's already starting to improve. Yeah, it slipped a little bit here again, but give it time. I can't help but assume as we go through August time, it will be matching back up to over to here again. Fingers crossed, you know. So I expected to do better. I certainly expected to do better. But let's say if you bought in around here, I think you might be in the profit already. But you would have had to have jumped in whilst the prices were down pretty bad from that reaction. And you know what? We have something in that current position that we can showcase to you right now. But let's also quickly remind you of Seeker SAR. So, you know, Seeker, you've been doing very good. Seeker summer last year was a wonderful time. We just kept seeing more weapon skins with transparent aim sights being accepted. Loads of people were very happy. But of course, when more and more options appear with transparent aim sights, it's not so special anymore. But, you know, people still go back to it. So, of course, at the very beginning of this year, we saw HellCore, didn't we? And, you know, it kind of drops down a little bit because post-Christmas is doing good. Then, HellCore appeared. Suffers during the Easter dip and it actually recovered very nicely. It was doing very good for a while. Trouble. But same thing with what we just saw of HellCore. It will go back up again. You know, give it time. And if we're expecting a lot of prices to start improving very, very nicely, what do you reckon might happen with this SAR? You might have noticed by now, I've pointed out a common pattern where these skins, they'll suffer for a bit, maybe due to a brand new skin being accepted, but then after a short while, they just bounce up even higher. You know, what are you going to do with that information? It's up to you. Just saying, you know, I'm just saying. So, yeah, Seeker collection, let's see if you progress quite nicely. I will remind you, we have seen a few other skins being accepted this year. They're not exactly doing stupendous. Seeker SKS was the first proper listed SKS to be appearing in a Rust store. I know you're going to mention the limited edition SKS, but that wasn't really in the Rust store properly, was it? This was. That's the first ever properly introduced SKS, and that did over 50,000 subscribers. Sorry for losing my throat there. That did over 50,000 subscribers. There's a lot of it available in circulation, and for quite some time, it has had a lot of listings. But after a while, you know, we were hoping that it could improve. We were actually hoping that we'd see a lot more Seeker skins being accepted. And, well, I love other people. Do not unload all of your stock at the same time. You're only causing your own potential profits to suffer. Look at the sales history of this. It's just been going down. And even recently, it's just been going down. So I will always tell you, try your best to avoid unloading all of your stock. Try and sell just a few. And if anything, right now, I just wouldn't even bother trying to sell this. Let it rise up first. Then I'd recommend you try and sell. But it is what it is. You know, it's not like it's the only skin that's behaved like that in the past. Now, even more recently, we saw the Seeker Pump Shotgun. Pump Shotgun was the focused item of the month for, what was it? Was it May? I think it was May. Yeah. Anyway, so this did not sell that much. I will remind them, right? Seeker collection. Lots of interesting skins. The first batch did very, very well. The later few, it's a bit questionable. But here's hoping by next year all of that also ends up in the green as well. As we go through this summertime, Here's hoping that this improves, because again, there's only so much of it in circulation. This is the counter, like this is the anti-version of the SKS. There's a lot of these in circulation. There's hardly any of these in circulation. But you know what? Chances are it's probably a lot easier to get this actual weapon in game in comparison to the pump shotgun. Now, I know you're going to mention the Quest. Yep, you could get the Quest. You could get one pretty early. How many of you people are getting that pump shotgun and instantly going to go ahead and try and skin it? Probably not too many people. But if you're making it, yeah, you'll probably be skinning it. But how often are you actually making pump shotguns? And there you go. That might be the main problem in regards to that. So maybe as time goes on, things will improve. But yes, it's not necessarily an issue to acquire one. It's a matter of how often are you actually going through the effort to skin one. All right? So other than that, what I see there, yeah, I'm still hoping you can improve. Complete opposite in terms of SKS. So much room to grow. Very thin here. Will it happen, though? Will it happen? So hopping back over to here, in regards to what we talked about with a brand new SKS, a brand new SAR being accepted, transparent aim sight SAR that is, we've noticed two other skins have dipped a fair bit due to an overreaction, I guess you could say. I want to talk about a certain revolver that's appeared in this restore. Optimized Revolver. What you have here, honestly, like, if you're looking for a nice investment this week, look at that revolver. Revolver's super, super, super reliable. I cannot stress that enough. It's a weapon that gets used quite a lot. Might not be the most powerful, but it certainly does have quite a lot of usage. You're not always instantly getting AKs, right? You're not that kid, right? Anyway, as of recent, we have seen some very nice looking designs. Let me point out Redemption Revolver, Chameleon Revolver, Black Ops Revolver, Soul Eater Revolver. They don't have transparent aim sights. They're just regular revolver skins. And as time has gone on, they have been appreciated. Their prices have worked out very, very nicely. But of course, with the arrival of the Heat Seeker Revolver, looks like we're getting transparent aim sights. And then Olympus took it one step further. So if you don't fully remember with the transparency we see in these revolvers, this kind of still keeps like the main sort of like box portion here, but it removed the two panels to the side. Olympus was just like, I'm removing all of it. I'm sure you know by now what that has. Yeah. And of course, Old Pirate Revolver is basically the exact same. So do you remember, this was doing very good, then this appeared, and then that suffered. If you don't remember, let's go ahead and showcase that to you right now. I paused for a good reason. What is Hedge implying? Well, I will remind everybody of when the Olympus Revolver came into our lives. It was quite, oh boy, $8 down to about $4. It halved in value. But what happened next? Oh yeah, you know, it's just recovered and did even better. Oh look, it's dipped down in price again. Oh dear, oh no, what are we going to do? I will remind everybody, just because a new revolver appears, which of course is the Optimized Revolver, there's probably no reason to overreact and unload all of your stock, but it's happened to Olympus, it's happened to Old Pirate Revolver. So let me just go ahead and showcase this to you. Both the Olympus and the Old Pirate Revolver have the most transparency out of all the revolvers we have in the game. Right now, this is about $6.50. Right now, it has dipped down in price quite a bit. Not ridiculously, but it has dipped quite a bit in comparison to where it was. It's lost maybe about $1 or $2 from where it was. But I will remind you, based on what we've seen in the recent past, people really do appreciate pay-to-win skins. And yeah, it's dipped. It has been affected by a brand new skin being accepted, much like what we saw with the Tribal Alloy SAR. But what do you reckon happens after this, especially as we're literally just about to enter August time? I wouldn't be surprised if they recover and go back up to their all-time high prices and maybe beyond. So what might you want to do when it's dipped like this? And of course, I'll also showcase to you the Old Pirate Revolver. I have been saying this a lot quite recently, you know. There's no real good reason as to why you should be unloading the stock for both of these skins. And of course, I should show you as well, like, Optimized Revolver, yes, it has a transparent aim sight. It does not compare to Old Pirate Revolver. It does not compare to Olympus. because again, you still got the 2 prongs to the side. You only go slightly down. It still has that square. Yeah, it's got some transparency, but it does not compare to what we have just showcased with these skins here. So here you go. Old Pirate Revolver, $5 now. It was doing better. It was cruising up in price ever so nice. Look at that. Look at that climb. Look at that climb. It appears in February. It had been stagnant for a very long time. It was not looking pretty for a while. Yeah, cool. Now, I will remind everybody, we have seen a lot of interesting revolver skins being posted to the workshop. So let's go ahead and get a real quick look at this, and then we'll showcase other revolvers. Just to remind you, once again, yes, that has the exact same amount of transparency as what we see in the Olympus Revolver. Absolute insanity. A very nice pickup, if you will. But over to here, did you not notice we saw the... oh, yeah, Thundergold's just been posted recently. We've also somewhat recently seen Cold Hunter. But if I go very, very recently, I will showcase to you. We had a transparent aim sight, Blackout Revolver. We had the... yeah, we saw like Toxins there. There was a Berserker Revolver, HellCore Revolver, Chrome Revolver, Fish Revolver. Like, guys, they were trying to take it to absurd levels, all right? They were trying to take it to absurd levels. But none of them were accepted. None of those other revolvers were accepted. So, in the position that we're in, right, I'm not expecting another revolver skin to be accepted from maybe another half a year. Watch Face Punch make it the focused item of the month at some point. But for now, based on what I've seen in recent past, we only really see 2 to 3 revolvers being accepted a year. I don't think we're going to be seeing another fully transparent aim sight skin like these revolvers here for quite some time. So what does that mean? Well, right now they have dipped in price, and we're probably not going to see any actual proper competition for some time. So, down in price, no competition for a while. The best transparent aim sight pay-to-win skin revolvers. Oh, and SCM broke. So I don't know how much I need to put that in front of you. I'm just saying you might have a pretty interesting potential investment right there. Why are we in May? Where are we? Right, anyway, so even that revolver right there, very nice consideration. Yep. If you've got spare funds, honestly, it's a pretty good shout. Just saying. Right, so, okay. That was quite a nice little yapping session. And we'll see if that optimized collection works out quite nicely. An interesting white design collection with transparent aim sights. Who could be upset with that? I said that a lot about the AK47, which, by the way, is actually doing a lot better as of recent. But funny that, in this video over to here, I was already kind of insinuating to people, and you could go watch it for yourself. In fact, I probably have the optimized AK47. There's a chapter right there. Go look at it. Go listen to Hedge. See what the price was back then. Because I looked at that and I told you, you know what, guys? We could probably still make some moves. If it's dipped again, we could jump in and, probably grab a few certain skins. And I showed a very nice example of that optimized AK47. Because why would people want to pick up the optimized AK47? Because the Comics AK, see that thing right there? Do you see it? It's too expensive. People cannot afford it. It's too much, bro. It's just too much. It's too much. That is currently $22.50. Now, give it time. It very likely might go all the way back up to $25. What makes me say that? Well, if I could just go back to the past. What happened here? Demand. So from October, where it was about $12 to $13, it shot all the way up to $25. And that's going to price out a considerable amount of people, isn't it? Now, as of recent, we have noticed like certain skins like the Olympus AK47 being appreciated, Thundergold AK47 being appreciated. So, not completely fully white, but white enough where people are like, you know what, I can't afford this. I'll just look around for other options. So, alternatives have been appreciated. This is where we bring up the optimized AK47. Wow! Not only does this have a predominantly white design, it's also got a pay-to-win transparent aim sight. Now, it was down in the dumps for quite some time. I'm sure, like, if you bought into these, I bought 50 directly. I picked up a lot with buy orders. If you were like me, you probably had a lot of these and you're thinking, oh, wow, I certainly wish this was better. Guess what? Look at it now. It's better. And, you know, I might be a little bit lost for words right now, but I'm just going to sit here and say, I don't think it's stopping. What it needed was just a few more skins being accepted. And, oh, look at that. Oh. And, of course, you probably have seen the short video where I brought up and showcased the proposed Thompson. Although that might need a change because it's got some holes in it. What are you talking about? If you watch my short video on YouTube, you'll see it for yourself. But if that were to be accepted, that, technically speaking, would be the Thompson with the most transparency in all of Rust. What? You might need to go ahead and watch my short video to understand. So we'll hop over to my YouTube. We'll take a look at my shorts. There's so many of them, Hedge. Help me. There it is. Thompson's right there. Too transparent? How? You need to watch. You understand. Because there's a bit of a mistake from Face Punch that leads to a bit of a broken design. They might try and avoid that. Maybe the skin creator might need to make a less broken version. Again, when you see it with your own eyes, you'll see it and understand. And if you ever are watching this in the future and you're a little bit confused, just search for optimized with the little search section right there. Boom, there you go. And not only that, you'll also see me doing a comparison between the optimized and the Comics AK47. In short, save a lot of money and just go grab the optimized AK47. It blends in perfectly. You can see it with that little sort of thumbnail there. I mean, is that a short thumbnail? It blends in perfectly a whiteout. It's a great consideration. I noticed with the optimized being accepted recently, that Olympus AK47 did suffer a little bit, didn't it? Yep. So if I go over to here, if I show, yeah, it dips real bad. But you can also see with your own eyes, after what happened, people started looking at this and people started buying this out because they just could not afford the Comics AK47. And since then, people are a little bit more wiser, and after the Easter dip, they jumped onto it hard. And then afterwards, well, look, there's an optimized AK47. So, yes, back over to here. This has now had skins accepted. This is now in a much more interesting, tasty position. But you could still probably jump in, because I will remind you, that sold for $3.49. It is still below its Rust store price, and there are still listings right there. And again, I said it, I looked at it, I pointed it out. I have already talked about this. You could have probably picked these up for about $1 cheaper than where it is right now, and you'd have probably been a whole lot better off. Well, the stars aligned, and we got more skins accepted, and well, here we are, haha. And I can only assume we might see more, and things could be a whole lot better. So, cool. Do I really need to say anything else? So as long as this keeps getting bought out, which happens every single year, mind you, just been a slow, crazy rise in value, optimized will be looked at more and more and more. And it will be doing better and better and better. So, you know, food for thought. Yes. Now we have mummy wraps. I have said this many times in the past. When these appear during Halloween with the Halloween Rust stores, I always buy them. Now, you know, if I had a lot more money, I'd have bought a lot more. So, yeah, I've only bought 50 directly from the Rust store. Funnily enough, though, I actually picked up quite a lot of them with a buy order. Anyway, in the position that I'm in right now, I could sell them for a profit, but I don't want to. What? Hedge, it's profit. What are you doing? I want to sell them for a better profit. So, of course, in relation to the recent Road to Big Grin video, I'm being patient. I don't like it, but I have to hold on strong. So in the past, do you notice how the prices rise up in June, then dip in, well, the end of June, and then rise back up again? Oh, look, it peaks in August. Well, look what happened last year. Oh, it rose up in June, and it goes a bit funny for a while, and then it peaks in August. I have to hold strong. Now, other people have been bringing up, what about customization? You know, will people just not need to have mummy wraps if they can fully customize their character? Probably, but they probably still like them. That's going to be more of a question that I deal with when it's Halloween time, because we're not going to see proper player customization until later this year. Most likely, well, probably around, well, when we have Halloween. So at least I could wait until then, when we have the Halloween Rust stores, where I can sit there and consider what I do next. But I will remind you, it always gets brought back for Halloween Rust stores. So, you know, the good time doesn't last forever. But if you want to be smart about it, you probably got to wait until August. Okay? Says the guy who has about 70 of them. In the past, I used to have 100 of them. I've seen it happen before. I'm talking to you based on experience, all right? If you're in a similar position such as I, you might be better off waiting to sell. So I know we've kind of dabbled into talking about and pointing out some interesting potential rises in price. Maybe you want to jump in now. Like, honestly, guys, there's lots of opportunities. Just learn from the past. If I can learn from the past to figure out when might be the better time to sell, can't you do the same with your own skins? Or, you know, if you're chasing after older skins that have been around for a while, but, you know, have risen up to higher prices, learn from them. You know, Snowcamo Jacket. Could I jump in right now? Why would I want to buy a Snowcamo Jacket? Well, it's a very affordable, approachable snow camouflage jacket. Yes. So let's go ahead and give this a good look. Right now it's priced at about $2, I believe. Yep, just under $2. So I've said this in the past. When times are good, when people really happen to want camouflage skins, of course, Snowcamo Jacket keeps getting bought out. And look at that, it's already starting to rise. So yeah, this had a bit of a dip recently as well. It's already starting to improve. Look at that. So post-Christmas, stagnates for a while, goes down for the Easter dip, starts to improve, looks pretty good. To be honest with you, maybe you've already missed out. Or maybe what you're about to witness is this go all the way up to about here. Now, if we went from here to about here, how much of a gain would that be? Not too ridiculous. About us here, though. Maybe. I think you've missed out for the potential to really walk away with some pretty sweet, delicious profit. And again, I know you might question it. Seriously, guys, I'm not joking. People really do happen to want to get some nice, affordable camouflage. Trust me, I've made a whole video yapping about it. And by all means, consider giving it a good watch. It's my second best viewed video now. I need to do an update next year. A lot of the skins I showcase in here still relevant and still affordable and still approachable right now. But how long for? As we go through the next several weeks. But yeah, I'll link that in the description. It does go on for quite a long time. But my goodness, look at all the chapters. Look at all the skins we talk about. Look at all the skins we showcase. Okay? There's lots of options there. You don't have to stick around for everything. So, all right, cool. So, yeah, camouflage skins are about to go crazy. It really wouldn't surprise me. Especially once we go through around August time. And I know some people are going to sit there and say, what about Grand Theft Auto? What about Grand Theft Auto? It's not going to really affect the PC people. I've already made jokes about this, but I will stand by my point. Unless you've already got a console, I don't think many people are going to be kind of super crazy for it. There will be people that will still spend $1,000 just to play Grand Theft Auto, though. We know who they are, but not like the kids. You know, not like the kids. When it eventually gets to PC, then we'll start questioning potential problems with Rust skins, all right? That's probably not happened for about another 1.5 to 2 years, realistically speaking. And I'm sure you'd agree. So that's probably not going to happen until either late 2027 or early 2028. And chances are I'll probably get delayed. So yeah, probably like early 2028. Oof. One more lovely post-Christmas just before it all goes to becomes doomed. But you know, I'm sure Grand Theft Auto will be fun for about a month, then people will probably go back to playing Rust. Like, you can imagine a good solid 2 months of just playing Grand Theft Auto non-stop, and then people will be like, yeah, I got the itch to go back to Rust now. Wouldn't surprise me. Chances are Face Punch might just be might just put their heads down and just work on something really meaty in the meantime for that. Like a naval update, but different. In the sky? Probably. I'm going to fly. Yes! Right, anyway, so, yeah. Look around. Look for opportunities. There's another one right here. Yeah, let's go point that out. Sinotype mini collection. Face Punch wouldn't make a mini box collection DLC, right? 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 They wouldn't pull the rug from under us again, would they? Again, if you don't know what happened, Face Punch were accepting all of these large boxes, a lovely looking large box collection. Yeah, it might have been hard to read, but people were happy. we were seeing a lot of investment towards all of these skins. It became the largest large box collection in all of Rust. Yep, it surpassed Neon large boxes. And then Facepunch released their special DLC, which was their very own large box DLC pack. And with that priced at $18, this was doomed. It suffered, it crashed. Look at it now. Oh, but that DLC pack doesn't have small boxes. Boom. So complete the sets 2026. Sinotype mini cards boxes accepted. Sells quite decently. People have been appreciating it. And then to our surprise, as a special anniversary skin, the skin creator decided to do a guns box, a mini firearms box. And I did go over to the comment section and say, that's nice, but I kind of get the feeling people might prefer like for small boxes, like a seeds box, a tea box, a meds box, a fish box, a fuel box, a diving box, a drop box, a car parts box. Someone said a clone box. Clone box, that's actually pretty clever. Props to you who said that. Although chances are, if you've got enough space for clones, you probably just use a large box or a barrel or something. You could debate that. Feel free to comment below. But yeah, those were my suggestions. And I know he will get to them eventually. But he didn't make one this week. What do you mean, Hedge? No. Not the Coco Ioka. No! No, I needed a small box. All right, next week. Okay? So, dang. Didn't get a small box this week. Let him cook, all right? Let him cook. Let him get his ideas figured out. Let him do what he does best, because he cranked those out pretty quickly, week after week after week. So what I'm insinuating is that this small box is in a very interesting position. Right now, we don't have a clear picture as to the possibility of a small box collection actually working out. Like, there's no new skin being posted right now, so people aren't feeling as confident. But next week, things might change. But over the course of the week, if people get antsy, unsure, they start dumping. But what happens if we do see a third small box being accepted, and then a fourth, and a fifth, and a sixth, and a seventh? I would be surprised if that bounces up even higher. And let me also point this out. 15,300 subscribers, but right now, 8,200 subscribers. That's not selling that much. Huh. So I'm not sure what happens with the mini cards box, but simply because it was the first mini box, maybe that'll still just work out perfectly fine. Again, look at that, firearms, first one out. At one point, they were selling for $30. You were there, we saw it, it was wonderful. I should have sold mine. Why? Anyway, so that happened. I'm not expecting that to go up to $30, no. But if it went up to like 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10, at some point, you're going to sit there and say, wow, I should have sold mine. Or wow, I should have bought into them. So, what are you going to do? Are you going to just watch them? Are you just going to look at them? Are you going to make considerations? Because that right there, if you end up selling the least, I just can't help but assume you're going to be in a very, 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 very good spot. I also realised I don't have my mouse visible. If I had that the whole time, oh, damn it. I've turned it off. So you can still see like when I'm hovering. Ah, it's cool. I'm sorry if that was a bit of a problem throughout all this video. I sincerely apologise. I turn it off when I do short videos. But it's not just things like that. Like, look, Cold Hunter Armored Door. I wonder what we could potentially see after seeing years upon years upon years of Cold Hunter weapons. A surprise Armored Door appears. A surprise acceptance. Oh, if only we could see some interesting other deployables being produced and potentially say, oh, what are you? Hello. Okay. I mean, that's like stylistically wrong, but it's cool. Ha, cool. Ha. There we go. I got that joke in. Everyone's miserable now. But that looks nice. That looks interesting. And I think we're about to see an interesting deployable collection now being built up. So you got to look around. You got to keep an eye out. And as I said, because I'm always looking at all the brand new skins being submitted. Case in point, not that. I was looking at that because I thought it was funny. Fresh, how are we doing? Oh, I mean, okay. No new skins have been posted since I've been yapping. Really, now that's actually quite a surprise. All right, well, cool. Regardless, I'm still always keeping an eye out. I'm looking at all the brand new skins. I can confirm to you a lot of small backpacks have been posted. Not all of them are going to be right because some people just spam post, so it's just not going to happen. But we've noticed some pretty cool looking collection continuations already. Yes, we have. Yes, indeed, we have. Got to keep an eye out for these things. But I should also remind you, we're like 2 more weeks away, 2 more Rust stores away, and then we have August Force Wipe. There's going to be a lot of small backpacks being posted. I'm not sure how much of an impact they're going to have. I'm not really sure if they're going to have that much of an impact regardless. But it certainly is a nice thing to look forward to. So many people have been begging for these to appear. Well, they're there. They're there. Anyway, back to focus on what I was talking about. So, yes, I'm always keeping an eye out for all the new skins being posted. I'm always questioning what potentially might appear next. Are there any super easy things to see and question? Could they potentially be accepted? You know, like, you can't just mind read and instantly know what face punch is going to accept, Hedge. That's just silly. You're oh wait, Popstar, here you go. So Popstar, there you go. Yeah, we might have talked about Popstar quite recently and discussed how successful it's been. It has received 9 acceptances in 3 months, and that is ridiculous. 9 out of 12. That is madness. Now, eventually, it does have to stop. It does have to stop. You might end up in a position where we'll see the occasional Popstar skin being accepted, kind of like Heatseeker, for example, which, funnily enough, there you go, competition. In the same week, we have Popstar Crossbow. We also have Heatseeker Crossbow. Now, do you have transparency? Yes, yes we do. Doesn't matter, though. Bolus Crossbow. Today, we have brought up the fact that Face Punch made the Large Box Collection DLC, and they also made the Bolus Crossbow. Yeah, they keep making these DLC packs at the worst time, aren't they? I really hope they don't do a small box pack. Anyway, that looks nice. I'm sure a lot of people would appreciate that. Is it too goofy, though? Will Face Punch Jump have the opportunity to allow such a thing? Well, they made the Bolus Crossbow. Can we at least have something that makes us happy? Well, what's it going to be? This, or is it going to be this? We shall see. Like, if Popstar now dabbles into weapons and tools again, what do you want to see being made next? Feel free to comment below. Let's go look at the weebs commenting. Yes, yes, yeah. I can't read half that, but yes. So, I mean, I guess an SKS. Maybe. Well, we've got to keep an eye on the workshop. We'll keep an eye on the workshop, don't we? So, let's just close all of this. Yeah, I actually prepared to talk about that earlier. By the way, can I also talk about the charity stuff? Yeah, it has slowed down. I'm not sure what's going on, but it looks more of a case of it's slower to update. I think that's the case. But don't panic, because this is going until the 13th of August. We've got tons of time. We've got like another month to go. So I really wouldn't panic about the fact that we're nowhere near the auto turret at the moment. But it really does seem like this is slow. And also, I'm led to believe the auctions will be added on top. So again, let's just go see how everything is over to here. And $27,000 just for the just for designing a Twitch drop. So, you know, I mean, Rust Roleplayers David H. Good on you, Dave. No, it's manco.store. Manco.store? Manco.store? Yeah, they're all right. I think I've spoken to them before. Yeah, that's cool. I think that was originally TF2 trading site, but now it's Rust as well. Yeah, they're cool. They're cool. Right, anyway, so yeah, there's all of this that probably will get added as well, and that's happening in just over 2 weeks' time. So don't panic. At the end of this month, regardless, we are expecting everything to eventually lead to the auto turret becoming available. So cool. And I'm sure a lot of people will be very enthusiastic to jump into that. But don't forget, there's also the fancy old Twitch drops as well. The Global Warfare event starts in about 2 weeks' time. Ooh. Don't forget. It's all right, cool. That's nice. But let's now go ahead and focus Popstar. The surge in anime. Look at what we see over to here. Guys, and I cannot express enough how well this has performed. Like, I know we're sitting here, what, 3 weeks ago? And we're just like, Popstar Summer, haha, yes, it's all right, it's doing good. No, it did even better. Better. All right, so hopping back over to here, I'd just like to point out some of the prices I've seen for some of these skins. Case in point, here's the Popstar AK47, simply referred to as the Popstar, but it is the Popstar AK47, you know. Anyway, yeah, that's just surged all the way up to $15. I will remind everybody, back in, like February, March time, this was down bad. really bad. Really, really, really bad. Let's go showcase to you just how bad it was, because that really wasn't doing very well for a while. And then, look at that Popstar MP5. Oh, that's nice. Maybe it'll just be one random skin being accepted and that's it. No, so much more. So at its lowest, this is just barely about $2. Now it's almost 8 times the price. I even tweeted about this somewhat recently, so let's go over to here. I had to give it its praises. I had to talk about how well it's doing. So, yeah, Popstar has taken over. Many question, why does it get so many acceptances? Well, clearly there's a lot of people buying them. It has reached many, many, many brand new all-time high prices. Total anime domination. So the prices were even better just a couple days ago. That sheet metal door was $7.50. $7.50. Garage door at one point was pushing up to $15. It has been ridiculous. And I don't think we're stopping. I really don't think we're stopping. No. So who knows what gets made next? Keep an eye out. But this has just worked out stupendously. And it all started off with an MP5. After half a years of a drought, I was just looking at that and thinking, oh, that's fine. Sure, whatever. That was down in price recently as well. Look how much it's gained. Like, do you remember in April when the Jackhammer was the focused item of the month? And we had just seen like the Abyss Jackhammer, we seen like an Easter design and whatnot, and we're just kind of thinking, yeah, this is going to probably go down in price for a bit. Maybe it might recover in the further future. Who knows? I think it's basically doubled the price. What? Welcome to Popstar Summer, buddy. Whoa! Okay, so that went all the way down to about... It went down in price up till June. It was bad up to the beginning of June. But then a few more acceptances and whoosh, whoosh. On one of my accounts, I've got about 20 of these. Yes, I have been selling them. It's fun. It's fun. So, cool. But again, I will remind you at some point it does have to stop. But I just wanted to make a big point that we have been talking about this non-stop for the past few months, and it has just progressed ever so nicely. It has been doing good. Very good. And at some point in the future, we'll probably see something like this happen all over again. You have to notice the signs. You have to notice that, this has got 4 acceptances in a row. Maybe Face Punch happens to like it. Yes. Yes, they do. So, we also happen to recently talk about a certain other interesting anime design, that of course being Hazma. I'd just like to talk about some positives again. Because, as I said, always keep an eye on the workshop. You never know what might get accepted, what might get accepted next. So it's nice to question things. And I'm sure many of you are fully well aware, the focused item of the month is the armored door. Have you been looking on the workshop? Have you noticed some interesting designs? Because, yeah, I've seen like, All-Seeing Iron, Scrappy, Neochroma, and Abyss armored door. That looks cool. Look, Late Shift immediately gets a collection continuation. That's awesome. That's nice. But... I'm looking at Hazma, buddy. Hazma's back. Hazma's made a return. Entry only for Hazma. She'll enter into your hearts. So, if you aren't fully all aware, this skin creator made a very, very special sheet metal double door to line up perfectly with the charity event that was about to take place. And then, of course, the blue plushie was removed. And I'm led to believe that was the reason why this wasn't accepted. Because that looks lovely. That looks amazing. But unfortunately, Humane World for Animals decided to bail. So, we could have had that. We could have been happy. And of course, I'm sure you've seen the success of Hazma in the past. Because when we saw another Hazma skin being accepted, those skins shot up in price ever so nice. But can I talk about how, with the success of Popstar, I have noticed some interesting upward trends. First of all, though, let's talk about Hazma Garage Door. This right here, it has been a bit of a downward slope ever since we saw the sheet metal door and the garage door being accepted. What do you mean garage door? We'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, it was doing pretty good before, but then, oh boy. But it's not going down anymore. It's going up. It's going up. So, all right, cool. That's nice to see. We're seeing some progress, but it needs to climb up a lot more to meet. I want to be happier, Hedge. All right, it needs to go up more. All right, fair enough. If we see the armored door, what do you reckon might happen? I mean, again, what happened when we saw the sheet in the door? Just saying. Anyway, we get the point. Sorry. I shouldn't have deleted that. I should have stuck with the Hazma. Sorry. Hazma, take me away. Oh, look, old Pirate Revolver's on the front page. So, Hazma, thank you. Let's go take a look at you. Let's go take a look at the sheet in the door. Because, we haven't seen an acceptance in quite some time, have we? We've been sitting, we've been waiting for another, collection continuation. And what I see over here, it's just been rising up in price regardless. It actually reached a brand new all-time high price just because a lot of people that play Rust are weeps. They love the anime. They won't admit it, but they will keep buying it. Yes, they will. And, of course, if we happen to see a lovely-looking armor door potentially, don't you think people will want to buy that as well? And I know you're going to sit there and say, but I already bought the Popstar. You're going to buy both. I know you will. You're weak. You can't say no. I know what you're like. But, of course, that Popstar armor door did work as a very nice investment. So it's obviously there's going to be a lot of people like that as well. Wow, okay, yeah. Guess I'll be buying 50 of them or 100. I'm still kicking myself because I didn't buy more of the armored doors. I could have. I didn't. Anyway, maybe I won't make the mistake if I see that being accepted in the next Rust door. Right, face punch? Anyway. I'm not sure how much more it can progress, but I certainly hope the skin creator does stick around. Because, of course, if it's just one guy getting all the anime skins accepted, it might be a bit annoying. But if there's at least two, I guess it's not so bad. And again, some people are going to sit there and say, what's this got to do with Rust? She's the hazmat, all right? She's the hazmat, okay? So anyway, shut up. I'm sure I'll see some more skins on the horizon. I did give some props to the skin creator. Keep your head up, keep trying. Just because one stupid situation happened with a sheet metal double door doesn't mean people don't want to see more of your skins. They do. I know they do. They keep telling me. So, all right, cool. With the possibility of collection continuations in the future, could we see the likes of this do even better? Well, I certainly hope so. And with the possibility of it happening, what's the main focus of today? What do you reckon might happen if we were to see the armor door being accepted? Yes, this sheet metal double door wasn't accepted, but there's probably a good reason for it. Is there a good enough reason to say no to that armored door? Is there? You tell me. So, all right, cool. We'll see what becomes of that. We probably should talk about the other garage door. What? Yeah, Easter. Yeah. Easter Hazma. Let's go take a look at you. So this is actually back up to its Rust door price almost, and it has recovered a fair bit because it did dip. Look at it. But no, it's an anime girl, you see. It must rise back up. So yeah, people must buy them. I'm still under the impression we're going to see Halloween Hazma and we're going to see Christmas Hazma, and I wouldn't be upset with that. Now, are there going to be garage doors as well? I don't know, but I'm sure they'd still work out perfectly fine. And if that does happen, well, first of all, let's talk about this. If we were to see the armored door, would that bounce up in price? I mean, it's still a Hazma skin. I'm sure it would. Now, if we were to see a Halloween one, if we were to see a Christmas one, to be honest with you, yeah, I would still expect it to do better. But you know what's going to stop it from doing better? Why? Why? Why must you do this? Did you not think, with the recent rise in price, that was showing promise? It could be doing so much better right now, but these stupid people building up big fat blockades. Why? Why must you do this? Why? What for what good reason? I don't think it's going to go up in price. You're the reason. You're the reason. So, lessons can be learned. Don't dump your entire stock, especially when we're expecting prices to improve ever so nicely. If you're one of those people, just remove them. Wait an extra couple of weeks. Look at it again. You'll thank me. If we could get all of that removed, that can actually flourish and that could actually rise up in price and become a nice investment. We'll see what happens, right? Technically speaking, it's still cheaper than the price it's sold for in a Rust store, so I'm just going to point that out to all of you. Maybe if we see the armor door, I'm just saying, what's the focus of today's video? You probably understand what I'm insinuating. So, all right, cool. How long have I been yapping for? I haven't even kept track. Did I go on for an hour? Oh boy. Wow, I just had that in me. I actually was walking in today just thinking, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I'm sure I'll figure something out. I'll just yap. Well, yes, he did. Yes, he did. Right then, I want to talk about MP5 as well. Heat Seeker MP5. There's an absolutely absurd amount of these in circulation. I've been told that I've been told there's actually over 1,000 of these in circulation. 100,000, I should say. Sorry. I forgot the extra 100. Sorry, yes. There's 100,000 of these that were bought. Oh my. And yet the demand is so strong. The demand is so strong that it actually manages to recover. Even though we have seen obvious competition, like the HellCore MP5 and the recent Twitch drops that we saw at the beginning of this year with transparent aim sights, still recovers. It still is so in demand that it will just rise back up in price, even if it suffers for a while. And again, I will remind them. Oh yeah, it suffered. And then it recovered. So when does this happen? Oh, it's like the 2nd or 3rd week of July. Just saying. So look at your calendar right now and start questioning everything. Because, yeah, you do have to start looking around and making considerations. Some of the prices we see for the skins still look as if they're struggling after the June dip. You've got to find them. You've got to question, is there enough of these skins being bought for its price to actually work out? And again, if it's an older skin, you can certainly learn from the past. Whiteout Boots on the front page. Why is that? Where's my tactical gloves? That would be appreciated. Anyway, $3.20, it's quite all right. I mean, it's on the it's on the road to eventually becoming a nice, super valuable skin. And I will remind everybody, Whiteout skins sold an absolutely absurd amount, and it took years to get to the point where it was. Well, guess what? Same's happening to these boots. And my goodness, look at that rise in price from post-Christmas. But then we had the dip, and it rose back up again. And then we had the dip. Guess what happens next? What's about to happen? I would have reason to believe we're about to witness a brand new all-time high price in the works. Just saying. Things like this will always be appreciated. Maybe you don't want to have a short-term investment. Maybe it couldn't hurt for a long-term one. Just saying. Or maybe you're going to probably sit there and say, I'd rather just wait until October. Wait till October, because usually with the autumn-fall seasonal dip, September, October, November, that's where we see prices reach their next rock-bottom prices. So, hey, it's up to you. If you know, you know. Right, so, uh-oh. Right, Mr. RR3, he's been very grateful that we talked about his Popstar collection. So, you know, I think we could probably chuck in a little sneak peek. I actually gave him the idea. After looking at this design and then talking about the idea of a small backpack, right? I said, disregard this design because you already did that on the large backpack. If you're doing a small backpack, you've got to do a small Popstar because it makes sense. What do we have right there? So I reckon we're probably about to witness something incredibly lovely about to appear in Rust. We shall see. So, there you go. That will sell a lot. It will sell a lot, you know it will. Alright, cool. Looking forward to it. That's looking very nice. So, yeah, Popstar Summer. When does it end? Never. I told you, total anime domination. There's no escape. There's no escape. It's one. As much as you can complain, as much as you can sit there and say, no! Anyway, so other than that, yeah, just look around. Start making considerations with what you do next. But you know what? I could probably give you a conclusion. Yeah, let's give you a conclusion like what we would have in the predictions video. Double check. Make sure you double check. If you're looking at older skins, always double check and just see how they behaved last year as well. Because chances are some of them have already recovered enough where you might not be able to make that much of a profit. I cannot guarantee, I cannot assure you 100% that we're about to see much better, higher prices. Right? Nothing ever is a guarantee. But based on what we've seen in the past, you can expect so. You certainly can hope so. But if you're going to make an investment, do not chuck in everything you own into just one thing. Diversify. Right? Diversifying is smarter. And of course, do not spend funds that you're not willing to lose. Okay? Don't be dumb. Only offer spare funds. Okay? Now, you might sit there and say, Hedge, you're always chucking funds here and there. Yeah, but I've got so much investments and whatnot, I can always cash out and just move on to the next thing, you know? Like, I've got an account over here. I recently exhausted it. What does that mean? It got to the point where it had maximum money, and it had so many bar orders that I could literally not do anything else with it. I couldn't add any more money. I could not do any more bar orders. Completely, like, done. And that's the reason why I've been buying the skins on this account in particular. So, yeah, so I'll be buying more of that as well. And, when we start selling again, I'll just sell again because I've already been spending money. Lots of barders have been going through. Yep, lots of barders have been going through. Yes, that's a lot of bolt action rifles and, Gothic Veil garage doors. Hey, I'm pretty sure there's a Gothic Veil armoured double door and an armoured door in the workshop right now. I'm not going to complain, all right? I'm going to just try and be happy. All right, cool. So, yes. Patience usually helps out a lot. Don't buy too many. Only buy as much as you're willing to sell, Don't buy 1,000 or something and then complain, oh, I can't sell it. Well, whose fault was that? Right? This is why I say diversify. Maybe just grab 10 of something each here and there, and that'll probably be perfectly fine. That'd be nice. I say the same thing with Christmas skins. Have you looked at Christmas skins? Oh, are we about to add an extra hour on this video? I would recommend you start taking a look at those Christmas skins because we're already getting closer. Look, I'm old and time moves fast. Let me tell you, it's just going to be like... And suddenly everybody wants Christmas skins. I'm not joking. It's only getting closer. November time. Some of them are already doing pretty good. So I'm just saying. Just put my hands up. Just saying. Oh, start looking maybe. Maybe with the profits you get after you sell your skins during the summer peaks. Yeah. Let's go with that. All right. There's always something else to do. Okay. But I will remind you. It does stop usually as we enter September time. September, October, November, autumn, fall seasonal dip. Okay. Prices will drop off. They will go down. But you know what? October time, best time to buy, okay? But with the Christmas skins, they aren't... If I can recall, they don't normally get that badly affected. But I do recall I have seen them rise up in price even during the summertime because people like to get in early. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see if August Force Wipe works out nicely. Unfortunately, July Force Wipe coincided with July 4, so I guess a lot of the Americans weren't playing during that weekend, but the player count's still holding strong with the average player count and whatnot. Got my thumbs up. It's all good. We recently had a new monument. Hopefully things are fresh and good and fun and blah, 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 blah. We'll see how things pan out, okay? You might just want to stick with your barders like I am, because I've got a ridiculous amount of barders going through. It's ridiculous, but hey, I hope I can make some profit. Hey. I did buy a lot of those Popstar Jackhammers with a barder and optimized AK47s with a barder. You'd be surprised. It does work out, doesn't it? So if you've been doing barders throughout all of this year, this half a year, I'll say, start looking at those skins now. Because now, over the course of the next few weeks, now's probably the time to sell. So cool. That's it. That's pretty much everything that needs to be said. My goodness, did he go on for a long time? Yep. But you knew exactly what you were walking into. You know what this whole YouTube channel... You know what this place is all about, all right? He just doesn't stop. I'll keep going if you want me to. No, I'm joking. All right, go away. Run, go away, run.